and then it's no solution. So on the line, you get between. Okay? So these are exceptions to actually getting an answer, like x is less than 4 or whatever. If you just end up with numbers and your variable drops out, if it's true, it's all real. If it's false, there's no solution. Okay? So any questions on those three things? Because other than that, inequalities are just like solving equations. Those are the three things you really need to know. Okay.
So the sign being the greater than or less than
Yes.
flipped?
Right.
Okay.
So like if I did negative x is less than or equal to 4, I can't leave a negative in front of the variable. So that's really dividing by -1. And when I do that, my sign flips the other way to be -4.
Okay.
Ready for the quiz? No? Hopefully you've been keeping up with your homework.
Yep.
And then you'll be prepared for these quizzes. It's not good to wait till the last minute. Yes. I'm going to finish grading them while you're doing this.
And then you just keep the highest quiz
Top 5 probably. And just lately we've already had 3, so we'll have to on the test you won't be able to use that as a method. Okay, just so you know, I want you to be prepared. Sarah's not here, is she? Or Brittany? Sorry. Excuse me. No, just hold on to them if you're done. Only take about 5 more minutes. Alright guys, I think we need to wrap it up so we can start with you. Yes. We're gonna go over it. Is it about the quiz?
It's just something you're.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go over quiz number 2. That was over sections 2.5 and 2.6. Number 3. Okay, in the equation, what is our first step? Right, eliminate the fractions, then distribute. Okay, so eliminate fractions comes first. So I'm going to multiply this whole equation by what? By 14. When I multiply by 14, if this fraction is in front of the parentheses, this is all considered one term. So you only have to multiply it by the fraction in the front. So it becomes 14 times 2 divided by 7 gives me 4. The 5x plus the 4 stays the same. Then I have 14 divided by 2 is 7. This part stays the same. And lastly, don't forget the 9. 14 times 9, which was 126. Any questions on that part? Would it have come out the same if I had distributed first, then got rid of the fractions? Yes, it would. It just makes life harder for you because you're multiplying twice, then taking out the fraction. Yes?
So, if there's a fraction in front of the parentheses, then you don't multiply those by the number that you're...
Just this, when this is in front of the parentheses, it's just like having a 5x. It's one term. This is part of this. So you don't have to multiply the 14 by every single thing. Just the number in the front. If that's confusing, you can distribute this first, then do your fraction.
That's what
That's what you do is you distribute
yeah,
first?
because on the math lab,
Uh-huh.
it like tricks you and says like you have to distribute first instead of going under one.
Oh,
So it really confused the hell out of me for like a couple of days.
okay. Well, that really is interchangeable. That's a preference thing. To me, it's easier to eliminate the fractions first and get rid of them, but if you are more comfortable with distributing first, that's okay. From here, then we distribute and we get 20x plus 16 equals 21x minus 140 plus 126. Next, I combine like terms. On the left side, there's nothing to combine. On the right side, I can combine the negative 140 with the positive 126, and I get negative 14. Now I want to isolate the variable. I want to get x to one side, so I'm going to bring 20x over here by subtracting it from both sides. And I'm going to bring the 14 to this side by adding it to both sides. I'm left with 30 equals x. And that is my answer. Any questions? Was it the fractions at the beginning that messed you up? Okay. But you're good now. Yes, number 2. Get a better pen. Alright, number 2. Solve for m. There are some like this on the test where you have to solve for a variable. Given this equation, they want you to isolate m. What do I do first? Multiply both sides by 2. I want to get rid of that fraction. What I'm really doing is multiplying the whole thing by 2. So I'm left with 2L equals m plus y. And then I want m by itself, so I subtract y. And I'm left with m equals 2L minus y. Any questions on that one? Okay. Other questions? I'm sorry?
Just when you're done.
Oh yeah, I'm done.
This, okay. Number 9 I have written on my paper,
Yeah.
and it equals 16. I
Okay.
just didn't write it on to this, I guess.
Okay.
But it is on there, and all the work is there.
Okay. I can grade it after class.
Okay.
In the future, if it's not on here, I'm not going to go hunt and peck for answers. You need to make it very clear, circle, so I'm not looking for them.
Okay.
But yeah, I will read
I just can't write it.
it.
Look at those little boxes.
You don't have to get it in the box, just have, she had on a separate piece of paper. As long as it's by that number somewhere, x equals 16, circled.
Can you see it?
Number 9. Speaking of x equals 16. One plus 2x equals 5, x plus 1 minus 4, x minus 3. First step, eliminate the parentheses by distributing. This side is fine, this side I need to distribute. I'm guessing where you went wrong is distributing this negative. -4 goes through both terms, so a negative and a negative become a positive. Probably. Okay. Really watch those negatives when you're distributing. Now combine like terms. Then we get x to one side. X equals 16. Any questions? Okay. Zoe? Number 5. Okay, number 5. A minus 5 over 3 equals 5a over 6 plus a minus 37 over 9. Our first step is to get rid of the fractions. What is my LCD, my lowest common denominator? 18, good. When I take 18 through each term, remember I said it's easier to divide or take it out of it first. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 6 times a minus 5. This one's a little different because you have 2 terms on the top. You've got to make sure you're taking 6 through both terms. Does everybody see what we're doing? Okay. The next one, 18 times 5a over 6. Well, 18 divided by 6 is 3. 3 times 5a is 15a. The last one, 18 divided by 9 is 2, so it's 2 times a minus 37. That's probably the hardest part, is just getting that cleared out. So let me know if you have any questions on that. If you're confused, you can always come to the side and say 18 times 5a over 6, or whatever the term is, so that you can see for yourself that this crosses out to make it 15a. Because sometimes you're not ready to do it in your head yet. You need to come off to the side. Yes? No, because 6 doesn't go into 9.
Oh, yeah.
I actually, on my paper, for some weird reason, used 54, which isn't the lowest, but it works. It's a common denominator. I just had more simplifying to do at the end.
I used
18 is the
162.
lowest. Yours was 62?
No, I used 162.
Oh,
I just
162?
multiplied them all
I know.
together. Yeah.
We just make life harder on ourselves.
Yeah. But I still got the same answer.
I'm sorry? You did 36? Well, that should have worked. 36 goes into all of them.
Yeah, I think it's just a mathematical.
Okay. Did you take that term in parentheses times the numerator? Let me finish the problem here. So A is 44 over 9. What?
No.
No. What did I do? Okay,
17 minus 6 is 11.
Ah, that's what I did. Thank you. I'm like, that doesn't cut out right. There. Equals 4. Thank you. Okay. What other questions from this quiz? Almost everybody got 12. Did you understand 11 that it was no solution? When your variables drop out and you have 2 numbers that don't equal each other, it's no solution. And was there an all real number solution? Let me see. What would it look like if
number
they-
6.
6 was all real? Yeah. If it's 2 numbers that equal each other, or 0 equals 0. which is two numbers that equal each other. The solution is all real. Very good. Okay, are we good on this quiz? Save it to study for your test with. I'm trying to decide on the quiz you just took today if I should let you grade your own. Are you trustworthy enough?
No.
Because I want you to have it to study with. Maybe what I'll do is I will go over it, and while you guys are working on the review, I'll grade it and hand it back. Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
Here's the one I was talking about. And I think
Or
what
you
I
can give
did,
it to everybody else, everybody can give it to someone else.
I'm not allowed to do that by
You're not?
rules of the school.
so I did it on iron right, but then I put it in the wrong spot, and then I forgot to do number 10.
Oh,
What the heck? Alright,
well, this one I'll say is okay.
I'm just getting better with it. I'm trying. So I can say I'm trying.
Okay, so the quiz you just took, let's go through that. And I haven't worked it yet, so. What do I do with them? Quiz number 2, quiz number 1. Well, that's perplexing. Ah, I found it. Okay. So the quiz over 2.7, 2.8 that you took today, I'm just going to do all 10 problems. Number 1 said solve the inequality and graph this inequality. Okay, so we want to work it just like an equation, getting s on one side, minus 9s, minus 9s. That means my variable is going to drop out. So I'm left with 2 is less than negative 7. Is that true? It's false. So what should my answer be? No solution, and the graph should just be a line with nothing on it. Okay? Number 2. The instructions on a bottle of liquid insecticide say use 3 teaspoons of insecticide per gallon of water. If your sprayer has 10-gallon capacity, how much insecticide should be filled in the sprayer? So we solve this using proportions. 3 teaspoons are for 1 gallon. Therefore, how many teaspoons do I need for 10 gallons? That's how you should set up the problem. We cross-multiply to get the answer. 30 equals 1x. So 30 teaspoons, don't forget your units, is your answer. It was on this. But on the test, you won't have units written right there, so just remember to do that on word problem.
We take points off if we don't put any in.
Yes.
But we don't get the whole thing wrong, right?
No. You'll get some points. Usually I take 1 off if you don't do that. Okay, number 3. This is a similar triangle problem. Said this was 16 inches, the whole thing was 30 inches, this was 12 inches, and we're looking for x. So there's a couple ways to set this up. One way would be 16 to 12 is the same thing as 30 to x. Another way might be x is to 12 as 16 is, no, I'm sorry, 30 is to 16. As long as you're doing same to same, same to same, okay? This line to this line to this line, or the little triangle to the big triangle. Because when you cross multiply, you're gonna end up with the same thing. 12 times 30 is what? 16.
Could I simplify the 16 and 12 before I did it?
That's okay, yes, and that's what I messed up on when my evaluation was in here. One time I told you you could, and one time I told you you couldn't.
Well, you told us that you couldn't across. That's the one thing you told us.
Yes, you can't you can't simplify across the equal sign, but you can simplify on this side.
You didn't tell us that you couldn't. I didn't remember
I think I
that.
did it one time. He told me I had a discrepancy.
Well, you didn't tell us you couldn't go across the equal sign at first.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Anyway, you can simplify it. Yes. So that would be fine, and if you had done that, that would be 90 equals 4x, which is easier to work with. Divide by 4, and that is 15 is x. No?
I got 22 and a half.
22 and a half, that's right. That's right. I was trying to do that right, I always had it wrong. Half is 45, and then, yeah, 22 and a half. Sorry. And it would be inches on your test. Use your units. 22 and a half inches. Number 4. Suppose that the exchange rate from U.S. to Mexican dollars, or U.S. Mexican pesos, is $1 per 10.553 pesos. $1. How many pesos would Elizabeth receive if she exchanged 600 U.S. dollars? So the 600 is on the same side as the dollar, and we're looking for pesos. That's one way to set it up. Cross multiply for your answer, so x is whatever 600 times this is, which ends up being 6331.8.
I put 80 also.
Yeah, I didn't spend 6,000.
Oh, I see, 80 cents. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. On my answer sheet, it just did 0.8, but 80 is more appropriate because it's cents, so that would be fine. Dollar sign. No, it's
No,
not
it
a
would
dollar
be
sign.
pesos.
It's pesos.
I didn't put any dollars, I just put pesos.
That's fine. Pesos is correct. It's
Okay.
not a dollar. It says pesos next to the box. So again, on the quiz it doesn't matter, but on the test, make sure you have units.
I think I put a dollar sign and pesos on there.
No.
What does that mean?
Well, it's pesos, not dollars, so it should just be pesos. Number 5.
You covered all your bases.
Solve the inequality in graph. This one was 19 is greater than negative 9x plus 53. So I'm solving for x, so I'm going to subtract 53 from both sides, and I get, what do you get? For 34?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Negative 9x. Divide by negative 9. What happens when I divide by a negative? I flip it. So x is greater than, well, I shouldn't do that, I'm messing you up, everything on the other side. 34/9 is less than x. And you could put 34/9, or you could have put 3 and 7/9. Then to graph it, it would look like this. You would put 3 and 7/9, and it's an open circle, and x is greater than. So the key with that one is remembering to flip the sign.
What letter is the answer?
I'm sorry?
What letter is the answer?
Is, what province is 5? It was A. A. No! Why did they say the A, comma? There's 2 parts to this. The solution is A, 34/9, and the graph was B. So you had to have like two bullet points there. Okay, number 6. Solve the inequality in graph again. Okay, Okay, what do I do first? Pretend like the inequality wasn't there and it's an equation. What would you do? Right, get rid of the fractions. And this time the LCD would be 12. And you only have to multiply it by the number in front of the parentheses. So that would give me 8, t plus 2, less than or equal to 3, 2t minus 6. Any questions on here to here? Now I distribute. Then I get my t to one side, and I get 2t plus 16 is negative 18. Then I bring the 16 over here, and I get 2t is less than or equal to negative, yes, 34. Divide by 2, I'm not multiplying or dividing by a negative, so the sign stays the same. Negative 17.
So I did the math a little bit wrong, so my calculations. So I got t is less than or equal to negative 14.
Okay.
Now, if I put the right graph, do I still get it right? Even though I
You'll get, yeah, that'd be like a 2-part problem. So if you got the wrong number, but you got the right graph, you'll get part of it.
But are we graphing ourselves on the test?
I'll look for you in just a second. I don't think it'll look like MATLAB. It won't look like this. And here it's kind of, all the choices for the graph have negative 17, so.
Yeah, I did. I forgot. I made it a 6 instead of 16 when I brought it over.
Oh.
So when I checked, it's
Alright, so this is negative 17. Should the dot be solid or open? Solid, and which way should it go?
T is less
Left.
than.
Good. Let me look on the test real quick. I'm pretty sure there's just a line, and you have to put in the number and graph it. Yeah, they just give you a straight line. And you're going to put in the number and do the graph. Okay, so it won't be like this quiz where it gave you the number. Number 7, this is the inequality. First I distribute. Look what's going to happen. Can you already tell what's going to happen? Yeah. 0 is less or equal to 0 because they're the same on both sides. So is this a true statement? Yeah, because 0 can be equal to 0, right? So it's true, therefore it's all reals, and it's the whole thing is shaded. Okay, number 8. This is the trapezoids, similar figures. Pretend they look the same. Okay, we're looking for x, so somebody tell me how I can set this up.
Well, it's going to be a proportion.
Okay.
So you set them up, so the two sides, it'll be like x over 6 and 7 over 2.
Very good. That's one way. Can I have another way?
7 over 7.
Yep. And either way, it's going to come out the same, isn't it? So 2x equals 42, x equals 21 inches. Very good. 9 said to solve for m. So all I need to do is cross multiply. 55 times 12 equals 22m. Somebody tell me 55 times 12?
660.
660. And then when you divide 660 by 22, what do you get?
30.
30. So minus 30. That was pretty easy. Okay, last one, 10. move on. Okay, I need to get x by itself and 6 on the other side. X minus 12 is less than or equal to 7x. Take x over here. I don't change the sign because I'm never multiplying or dividing by a negative. And how I graph that is at -2, it's a solid dot, and x is going to always be greater. Okay, I went kind of fast through that one. Is there any questions on it? Great. So let's talk about the test. We need to have 3 key facts.
I did it the other way.
I'm sorry, 4.
Number 10, I did the other way.
Did the other way. What do you mean?
So I bought 7x over,
That's fine.
but it made me change the sign then. Does it come out with the same answer?
You should come up
You
with the
should,
same
because it's
answer.
only multiplied.
Okay, so you brought 7x to this side first, right? That doesn't change the sign because you're just subtracting. You're not multiplying or dividing by a negative. Then you should have taken this 6 over. Ah, I see what you're saying.
No, I did that too.
Still the same answer.
Now look, it did make you flip the sign. You're right. But isn't this answer the same as that answer?
Yes.
I just confused me. when
But
you
you're
did it
right.
the other way.
If you did it that way, you would have had to flip the sign.
Oh.
Very true. So that's a good example of 2 different ways you could approach the problem and get the same answer. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so if you need 4 key facts in this chapter, just tell me what some might be. It drives me crazy when people miss points for this. This is like guinea points. But every time people do.
I got one wrong on the quiz because I didn't write it out in the formula.
I did too. I
Big
did.
fast
I did
formula.
Yeah, you have to tell me what it is. You can't. Yeah. Just write it down.
So, like, you do the area equals to.
Yes. Area equals, you could say area of something, area of a circle is pi r squared. Or you could say area of a rectangle is length times width.
You do all the same one? Or can you do all 3 areas? in one?
Sure. Perimeter of a rectangle would be 2L plus 2W. There's lots to choose from on this
Are we
one.
gonna have the formulas on the
I knew you were
test?
about to ask me. I knew it. I foreshadowed it. Let me see. Gosh, they don't have a circle or a rectangle or anything.
Oh, but so I just wanted to know if we have to memorize all of it and they'll give us a question and we have to. Okay.
They don't have these questions on here?
Use the formula to find. It gives you the perimeter of a rectangle and it gives you the area of a trapezoid, and then you just have to plug in the numbers to solve it. So it doesn't appear that there's any formulas you have to just know off the top of your head, other than if you want to write them for your key facts.
What are those problems called when they have the less than,
Inequalities.
so you could say when dividing and multiplying a negative inequality, you flip the sign?
By a negative, flip the inequality sign. That'd be a good one.
I couldn't just say flip the sign.
Yeah, you could. I'll take it. Flip the sign. What else did we learn? You could do area of a triangle. One half base times height.
Get rid of the fractions.
Yes. Steps to solving an equation. And what you could say is the first step to solving an equation is to eliminate fractions or decimals. The second step, if you wanted to just do your 4 things, is this. That would count. Your second step is to remove parentheses by using the distributive property.
What if you have You won't have exponents in it, because you do exponents.
That's order of operations. Yeah. This is just steps to solving an equation. 3 would be to combine like terms. 4 would be use the addition property. 5 would be use the multiplication property. 6 would be I'm sorry? No, unfortunately, no.
Can we just start at 7?
Sure. You could just say steps to solve an equation, give me the first 4, and you'd be good. So any of these things, or if it's pertinent to the chapter, and you can't just write like a word, you have to tell me what it means. Like don't write just down inequality. Something else you could put is if inequality is true, then all reals. If it's false, then no solution. You know, that'd be a good thing to put. So that's just to give you some ideas for that. All right. The next thing I would like to do before I hand out the review packet is just kind of go through this test with you and give you an idea. Simplifying expressions, but you solve equations. That could be one. Because what's the difference? For an expression, you should not get x equals something. If there's no equal sign in the problem, you should not get a solution. So you simply simplify expressions, but you solve equations. Because on the first page of this test, it's all simplifying expressions. So I don't want x equals anything. I just want you to combine like terms. Make sense? The second page is solving equations, and you do that using these steps. The third part of the test is solving for variables. You know on the quiz when we had solve for m? It's something like that. It will give you an equation and it'll say solve for a letter. So you need to learn how to manipulate things to solve for a variable. Not on this test, no. If it says that you would, but on this one it's not. It's solving for a letter. Then there's a section where they give you a formula, they give you the numbers, and you have to solve for the missing part. So remember when we did perimeter of a rectangle, and it might say perimeter is this, length is this, what is W? Remember those problems? There's a few like that. And lastly is the inequality stuff. On the quiz we just did. Solve the inequality and graph it. And then there's a similar triangle problem where you set up a proportion to solve. Okay? The last page is proportions. There's 3 word problems with proportions. One is increasing a recipe. So if I tell you there's 2 cups to make this 3 pieces of cake and you need 10 pieces of cake, what do you increase the cups to? So that's solved with proportions. And we'll do some like that. There's one with inches and miles on a map. It gives you the inches and these are the miles. Again, solve with proportions. And the last one is milligrams per pound for medicine. So there's 3 of those. Yes, David?
So when you put the sign, it's only when you divide.
Divide or multiply by a negative. Only by a negative. Divide or multiply by a negative. Yes. Okay. Any other questions before I hand out these reviews? Yes. I didn't see any. Conversions minus X. I don't see any. Nope, no conversions. If you can do the homework, the quizzes we've done and review them, and this review packet, you will be pretty prepared. I didn't see anything real tricky on the test. Okay, so this you can work with a partner, you can work alone. I have an answer sheet I'll give you in a little bit. I don't want you just to look at the answer sheet, I want you to try it on your own first. I'll grade these quizzes from today and give them back to you so you can study with them. You guys feel pretty good about this test or not? Better than the first one?
Yeah.
That first one was pretty good. Okay. Let me know, just get my attention if you need help.
Can we turn in our homework?
Can you wait till test day?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I have one more thing to ask you.
Okay.
I printed out the online worksheet, and there's some, I have some questions
Okay,
about
let me
it.
see.
Just a sec. I only got that part of it done, but, I don't think I understood that one.
Oh, because it's a coefficient. It should be 1/4.
Okay, so let's see, I got -2 or 1/4. And the answer that they have is funky down here. They had 1/4.
Yeah, 1/4, yeah.
So I got,
Because what this really is on the bottom, it's the same thing as saying 1/4 times y minus 2 in parentheses.
okay.
Okay? When you do 1/4 times this, that's the coefficient. They're just writing it in a way where the 4 is on the bottom.
Okay.
But when it's here, you think of pulling it out in the front, and that's what is going to be multiplied by each term. So it's no different than the one above it, really. It's just instead of being x, it's y minus 2.
So if I multiplied times this times 4, then to simplify it would just be y minus 2?
If you multiplied it by 4, yes.
Okay.
But it's not an equation, so you can't do that.
I understand.
Yeah. But that's telling you what the coefficient would be.
Okay.
But here, same thing. The difference being, this is 5/3 because there's nothing with the x up top. There's nothing else. So it's just 5/3.
Okay.
Those are kind of tricky.
Okay. And it doesn't ask you to
Combine like
combine.
term.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says to combine like terms, and then down here in the answers, then you once you combine the like terms, part of the answer is this, and then in the answers down below is when you completely simplify it. It's just really confusing the way the answers are written.
Okay, so this is this one. And they wanted you to combine like terms. So you're going to combine the 1 and the 5, -3, and the x over 2. Okay, what this really is a half x.
Okay.
So when you combine these two things, it's just like adding two fractions, 3/1 and 1/2. So to combine them, you need to turn this into 6/2 plus 1/2.
Okay.
Because you're putting them together, so to add fractions, they have to have common denominators. So that becomes -5/2 x, and the 6 comes down here. Does that help at all?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's very, very
Yeah, 'cause it's
confusing
right
the way
here.
they have the answers set up.
Okay, because this looks just like what I just did here.
Okay.
You just weren't done yet, because
Okay.
you hadn't put those together.
Okay.
And then D,
Yeah, I think I must have done the
yeah,
same
you did
thing.
that one right. That's right.
So, okay, so this is first 2 pages, and then this one has no answers with it. So,
for none of these?
right.
So
I
you
mean,
just
I
want me
think
to see if they're right, or?
Yeah, I think I got them right.
This one is constant.
Okay.
Other than that, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. 3/4, yes. That one's harder to do in my head, but yeah, that's
Well,
right.
here's the works up here. If you need
Okay.
to look at
So 24, that would be 9, and that would be 16. 9 plus 16 is, yep, 7/24, so that's right. 2xy, that'd be negative 3xy plus 2x minus x squared. Yep. 4, 3, 0. Negative 3, 0. So that would just be 0, yes. 2x squared plus 4x. 32x minus 8. Negative 2/3 plus 6x. Okay, this one should be negative 2/3.
And that's 15.
Yeah.
Oh, I multiplied it times 3.
You can't because it's not an equation.
Okay.
200. Let me tell the class that too. That's a good thing to remind them of. Plus a half. 4, that'd be 2, yes. 12t, that goes away. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7, I think. 12t minus 12 minus 12 minus 5. No, negative 17 is what that should be.
Wait, except when you distribute it, shouldn't it be 15?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're right. Yep. I was worried about the negative sign. I didn't do the 3. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Good. So, everything was right except that one and that one.
Okay. Well, but there's, just so you know, there's no answers
Oh, okay.
in the worksheet with that. I haven't finished the rest, but
I
will.
don't even know where'd you get this in math lab?
In the math lab, under worksheets.
Worksheets. Oh,
Okay, just a reminder, when you eliminate fractions, it can only be in equations. There has to be an equal sign to eliminate fractions. Don't do it for expressions. So the difference is, if I had 1/3 x plus 2, something like that, I cannot eliminate that 3. But if I had 1/3 x plus 2 equals 6/2 or something like that, then you could. So you can only eliminate fractions in equations. Somebody have their hand raised? Just do the front one since it's in parentheses. So yeah, so just do. Yeah, okay. Looks right to me.
I'll get these graded. There it is. Do you guys want the answer sheet to check your work while you're going?
Yes.
Just don't look at it and cheat. Try it first. It's for your benefit.
So this isn't to be turned in for a grade, it's simply for your practice. So I don't care if you get a grade the first one. It doesn't matter to it. Did I already give you one share?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, did you answer your own question?
I did.
Okay. Oh no. You want me to do it real quick so you can take it home?
Wouldn't mind.
Okay. She'll read it.
Yep.
So in this game, really cool because I got it right up to there. See how I?
Yep.
Then I added 95 over to the
That's okay.
But then what
But
I got
then-
was 10x equals 10x.
Minus 95. Well, I'm sorry, minus 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd want to take the 10x over here.
So then I divided by 10.
Not divide, but you subtract 10. So
Oh, okay,
from right
gotcha.
here, you'd say 95,
Mm-hmm.
95, and then you put 10x equals 10x minus 5.
Right.
Then take the 10x over.
Okay,
And
I
equals
divided.
0 equals negative 5.
Okay, that's
And
it.
since that's not true,
It would be okay.
yep.
you want us to give you feedback when we're done?
No, you can keep it.
How's the review going? Okay. Yeah. Last time I didn't get
Okay.
it. I mean,
I comment.
I'm not recording now.
Any questions on your review so far? You having trouble with anything, let me know. So can you eliminate fractions and then expressions?
No, no.
Something I don't see a lot on the review that you should cover is those word problems with proportions. So make sure you do some in your book or on slides. Taking 7 over to this side. So dividing both sides by 7 is the same thing as multiplying by those reciprocal. That's what they did. And the reason they did that is for big fraction here. Because if you came over here and said divide by 7, you would have had divide by the flip, copied out flipping it. Okay. If you're completely done with your review and you have no questions for me, you can go on. But please study for the test. Make sure you wrote some extra word problems that were not on this review sheet.
When you say all real numbers, are you supposed to put a number in here, or just?
No, you just
You just
color the
read
whole
it.
line.
Okay.
But over here, yeah, you did that all wrong.
Those are tricky.
Yeah. Well, in this answer, though, do they need the energy? Yeah. Because you can pump just that many gallons. Where you want to do that is if it's like whole bags or something that you can't, part of.
I don't want to make it clear, like, how many whole bags.
Right, exactly. Yep. Because gallons, you could stop it technically at 0.4. Yeah. Part of it. No, because it took 8 gallons to make 5 gallons, so those are doing the same stuff. Because this gallon's going this way. So 8 gallons, 5 rooms, how many gallons would it be? So it needs to be on the same side of the equation if it's moving together, but it's only it's supposed to be Ten till. It usually ends at 10 till. 11:50, yeah. Hour and 50 minutes. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, study. Yeah.
You're making me well on this test.
Not too bad.
No, it's not.
It's just stuff I've always done, but it's not really well, but like, when it comes to input testing, I feel that's
Test anxiety.
I mean, I just don't know. I know it.
Yeah.
And
You overthink it maybe.
I do. That's what's wrong with those, and I'm not overthink. Well, there's lots of books and stuff out there about custom design, you know, I need to go really. Yeah. I guess in your mind, if you can just pretend like it's a normal day, but. Oh, I know. But it's just like when I had the guy reviewing me in the back of the room, it's, and you know, you're being, you just act different, 'cause that's how it is. Well, thank you. Yep, have a good weekend. See you. Bye.
Okay, I'm going.
That's fine. Your quizzes are improving.
Yes, I noticed. Yay! Made my day, actually.
Good. You're doing something right. I think it's a generational thing, but I always find that my older students always work harder and do better. Just, it's a different work ethic. Well, and I think a lot of it is, our age families are paying for it. The 18-year-olds, their mom and dads are paying for it.
Yeah.
It's a little different when
Well,
you have to do it.
Well, and failure's not an option anymore.
Yeah, well, that's true too. When you're 18, you still have time.
Yeah. It's okay to screw up when you're 18.
Yeah.
It's not okay